do whatever he wants.
Yeah, you know, we got some of the highlights here that happened earlier from Game On and some of the results and plays that we got earlier from them today. I do, you know, agree with you when it came to a lot of it. It was all about Sarmia, right? Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a lot, I think, when it came to the series itself. It was just how much pressure within those melees were they able to apply. And I don't know. I'm struggling to come up with what I necessarily feel like. I feel like I was the breaking point in one direction or another, but I do agree that, you know, somewhere in that Bako area might be a place to be looking for these teams.
Yeah, it's tricky, of course, because Bako is pretty good in this meta, and a lot of people see Shifu as being very bad in this meta. So you don't really want to pick the Shifu, even though it's Corrupted's most comfortable character. So it's just tricky. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. We could also see an Ulrich pick out of Mini. That's something we didn't see in the first game that Mini definitely has in his back pocket. I guess we'll see.
All right, we'll find out. Draft here, ladies and gentlemen, between the two teams. Opening up with a Pearl and a Taya.
Okay, makes sense. Naraga, he plays Pearl. His Pearl looked very good earlier. He had that triple splash silence that turned the tide of one of the rounds.
Oh, it was disgusting.
Yeah, and then the Taya makes a lot of sense. Ivar looks very good in that character, and it's integral to the playstyle of Game On.
Yeah, they were doing a really good job there. The control that they were able to have with those X strikes here as we're looking towards what we're going to have for that next pickup here between the two teams. Is there, when you see a Pearl, do you have any major counters where you're like, I want to see this picked up on the other side because she is a little bit less common?
Yeah, the big alt combo characters such as the Freya coming out of Game On are very good. Once her dive is down, you just drop that big AoE ultimate. It doesn't proc counter. She can't really get herself out of it because she's not that mobile. So it can be good, but it's still kind of difficult, right? Because like in a vacuum, Freya versus Pearl is pretty hard because Pearl has all of the tools to deal with Freya's M2s. She has the bubbles, and she has that counter for when the Freya gets up on her. It can just be very tricky. All of these things are very like give and take. The last pick, okay, so we do see the Lucy out of Mini. I'm glad I was right on at least one of these topics. And we see Excafu, he's going to be playing his signature Esmo, and Sarmia, he's picking up that Freya again. Makes sense. He looked really good in the first game.
I just find it, you know, humorous that you're sitting there. At least you got 1 point, you know, because I hate to break it to you. I'm sitting here at 0, so, you know, at least you got that going for you there in the flesh. Always going to have that one up there. But now that we have the entirety of the compositions, Freya's on both sides when it comes to the backliners. Very different mentality, feels like, when it comes to the play. Esmo versus Taya, very, very different. And definitely, when looking at the sports, I view Pearl as probably one of the more offensive ones, whereas Lucy, not that she can't be offensive, it's just got to be at the right time and place.
No, yeah, you're spot on. Pearl is a much more aggressive support. She wants to be setting the pace of the round, and Lucy, she kind of wants to play a little bit more defensively, like hit key panics and play in like specific moments. She's like a wave. She's like in and out, in and out, in and out. Whereas Pearl's just like always trying to like stay in and apply pressure with her allies. But I do really like this Lucy pick. It's much better against Freya. Of course, Clarity Potion. It cleanses off the shields of Freya, and it's looking like even without seeing the draft, the viewers are agreeing with me.
Yeah, going to be sporting Game On there. 61% of you locking down that vote for them. Not so many backing out that of eUnited. But eUnited's composition, I feel like this, when I look at it, it screams to me offensive. You know, very aggressive, especially knowing that a Lucy support's got to be on the other side. I mean, in my mind right now, eUnited's idea's got to be threaten Freya up in the front line. Oh man, it's so confusing though, because if you leave Taya alone, Taya is really concerning if she's left alone. It's like, pay attention to Freya, swap to Lucy, but then it's like, oh, but Taya's been left on an island and she's going to be a huge eproblem here. So then what is the approach then for eUnited?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky. So, of course, Sarmia needs to have success on the backline, and I think the battle between Excafu and the Lucy is also very important. I think Excafu needs to help out his allies, maybe hit some good Chaos Grips onto Mini, which we saw earlier in the Paloma match. We saw Excafu just wreaking havoc with that Chaos Grip. That RMB, such a high impact if you can pull the support out of position, and that's even more important with Lucy. Of course, we know Lucy is the immobile support. She only has roll, so if she gets caught after using roll, she's just going to die. She's going to use barrier, and she's going to die. So if Excafu can hit some really nice grips, it might make the rounds very easy for eUnited.
For anybody, you know, at home kind of wondering, you know, why is a silence as a crowd control such an impactful thing, you know, in Battlerite compared to a standard game, is there's one major element that doesn't exist within Battlerite itself that you typically look at and you go, well, at least if I'm silenced, I can auto-attack. But there is no such thing. So a silence is debatably as good as a stun, other than I can't control your position specifically. But then when you add the silence mixed with the pull, turns out I've got both at the same time. It might even be able to outweigh that because the pull bringing you back in. It's just, it is extremely huge in terms of like how big of an impact Esmo can have with that.
Yep, the silence just makes it so you literally can do nothing. As you mentioned, it's not like that in traditional MOBAs.
It's a hands off the keyboard type moment there. You're like, yep, this is all I can do right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Nice arena, yeah.
I thought I heard the sound there for a moment, like kicking things off, but just got to appreciate this beautiful dragon here.
Yeah, looking at those flamey eyes. Pretty ominous. I wouldn't want to look into those eyes.
I mean, to be honest here, even though we are memeing about the dragon, I actually really like not only the VR cam and opportunities within Battlerite itself, but even just the appreciation of the art. Because I've spent all of yesterday, I was like, you know what? I've played this arena probably 1,000 times.
Yep.
And I've sat here and I've never once been like, that's a really pretty dragon. But now that I've been able to, you know, you just gain appreciation for all the artwork and effort put in here by SLS.
You notice the little pots too. Little nice things around the arena. It's a I like the art style of these arenas and how they look. It's a very nice aesthetic.
Yeah, for anybody kind of wondering here, we're about to get the match underway. We just had a quick pause here, so that is why we're taking a minute to appreciate it. Here it is, eUnited versus Game On.
Oh man, we'll see how this goes. The bubble's being placed down immediately. Corrupted. He's eating that silence. The counter's not procced either. Meanwhile, Srmia's counter is procced. The shields onto him are very nice, but the barrier onto Corrupted help him out quite a bit.
Srmia chunked pretty low. Naraga's going to have to be able to heal that up here. First orb spawning soon. Will Ivar be able to get that X-Strike value on it?
Oh!
Damage coming through. eUnited able to pick it up. Silence already used there on top of, excuse me, what was going to be Corrupted for a moment. He's fine. He's been able to make it out. eUnited pulling ahead quite significantly there in percentage, but with that rebuttal back, nice M2 is going to hit there from Xcafu, pulling them back in, but look at that panic hit onto Freya.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Panic into X-Strike, and that's the power of Lucy. Nice setup for his ally, and Mini is able to secure that orb as well. A Chaos Grip comes onto Corrupted, and some damage comes out onto him, but Mini he's able to back up and heal up his allies a little bit. This next orb spawning in about 10 seconds. We'll see who gets this one. It's pretty important, but it's looking like eUnited's poised to take it.
A lot of shielding coming out after that counter hit. Corrupted moves up.
The
Jaws
tornado
ends up getting tornadoed there. The ultimate from Xcafu to control that orb. It comes down. He ends up picking up the orb. Nice M2 will pull one back there, but Taya has that haste. She's pretty mobile whenever she has that taste. Nice silence once again, landing onto Corrupted. Freya counter not going to hit his E as well. Only one iframe left.
Oh my god.
Maybe not even available, but no matter what, the punishment is going to be there. eUnited just blowing him up.
Yeah, it's so crazy what happened there. So unfortunate. So Mini threw down a healing charge onto Corrupted, and immediately Corrupted, he used his iframe to dodge the heal, and he needed that heal. He died without it. Very unfortunate. And the Jaw's going to clean things up. But it's crazy how just the smallest things can change a game so much. That 14 heal would have allowed Corrupted to survive through that burst at least for a second more, but he didn't get it.
If you ever want a lesson on how painful iframes can be in both directions, right? I feel like Ulrich is one of the greatest training lessons for that in the entire world. You just straight up be like, I have spacebar, I reset, I dash, I got stuns going everywhere. The minute your teammate uses an iframe and you spacebar through, and you're like, oh, this feels real bad. Like this is like I went from a good hero to just like I'm on the struggle bus right now, boys.
You went from a good hero to dead.
Yeah, just DED on the battlefield here. And yeah, we see another case of those iframes going in both directions here. But that's something you can work on. You can be like, hey man, you were dodging my support. You know, there is communication tactics to be able to deal with that. Game on. Get pretty weak there onto Ivar, having to tornado out.
Yeah, Mini being forced to use his barrier on himself is very unfortunate here, as now Corrupted doesn't have it, and boy, is he taking a lot of damage.
He did end up getting the orb at least, maybe a redeeming quality. Gonna pick up a couple of green candies there for himself. Srmia still threatening the backline. Takes a bit of poke and prod there, even gonna eat an in cap, but nice counter pulling them back there, gaining a lot of shields, able to turn it around. See the Thunder thrown down there by Corrupted. Damage onto Srmia.
Oh! They find the kill with the Zephyr, a beautiful iframe. They're trying to find the kill with the Esmo, but they're not going to be able to. Now Naraga, he's caught in this goo. Oh, but Corrupted, he gets burst down. He's able to get out, though, and the Petrify slows down the roll of Xcafu.
Petrify was broken, though. Xcafu not able to make it land. Stun and poking there onto Naraga. Silence ends up missing. Will he end up going for a reset? He will. Silence available number 2, lands that one. Naraga counter, not going to get hit. The counter on to Corrupted, though, will in fact get procced. Another orb now for Game On, and that looks like that was enough to gain the momentum here. It's going to be very difficult for eUnited.
Yeah, absolutely. Naraga has that ultimate, but with the Tornado available and Ivar playing so incredibly well this match, I find it unlikely that he's going to land it. We'll see, though. They're going to have to go for something. They start to get Corrupted pretty low down bottom, but Ivar does a great job separating the Esmo and doesn't let him find the kill on Corrupted.
That round was extremely interesting on how it kind of played out from me, from my perspective, because I saw many moments where I looked at Corrupted and I was like, wholly trade in a positive manner for his team, and others where it was equally as dour, but at no moment did it feel like when it did have that negative moment, did eUnited maybe capitalize on and get that heavy amount of pressure going into it? It felt like the pacing was very interesting and different than what we've seen in a majority of rounds.
It changed on the dime, and that's the kind of thing that's going to happen when you have Mini and Ivar connecting Panic Flask into X Strikes. Sometimes you'll just output like 50 damage in a second, and a Freya can't handle that if she doesn't have shields. Freya can't easily heal up, and Pearl, a support known for her inability to support her teammates as much as others, it can be really impactful.
Yeah, she supports by killing the opponents and crippling them with that silence.
We do see her doing a great job supporting Execute on bottom, though, that bubble shield negating a lot of the pressure of Corrupted, but Corrupted doesn't take too much damage.
Control on the orb. Gonna fall to eUnited, able to claim it for themselves. Tornado already forced there onto Taya. Sremia having a heyday there onto the back line. Positive trade now for eUnited as they pull ahead. Counter ends up pulling a few in. Freya's trading there onto the back line. Mini taking a lot of damage there on the Lucy as we sit now 3 seconds out from another orb.
Yeah, checks Sremia's bar. He's sitting on that full bar of energy, so he's definitely going to be trying to force outs, as we see here, and he finds it on Mini. Perfect play. He goes for the support, so there's no barrier, no clarity potion, and Mini, he barely gets out of that ultimate from Excafu. The Petrify is also used on Sremia, but still things aren't looking so good for Game On.
Yeah, because even though Mini was able to make it out of Excafu's ultimate, it just didn't matter when Ivar had to eat the entirety of that damage as well. That set the HP bars of Game On too low, and the double dot silence coming in from Naraga. And with that, Game On here very much onto the back foot in this round.
Yeah, eUnited, the pressure is pretty unrelenting. Oh, the Taya ultimate is absolutely eaten alive. She has nothing. The Pearl ultimate is used too, forcing out the roll. There's no more goo available, but Mini's going to be farming that up very quickly. We'll see what Sremia is able to do. The counter is there, and Mini's going to hit it. This is not looking good as oh, the ultimate?
Gets it, mixed with the follow-up there of Excafu saying, hang the wrist, thanks for the alley-oop. And now a big lead here for eUnited, and likely able to take this round, and more importantly, a lead when it comes to that round, gaining this momentum into their favor.
Yeah, really nice play here from eUnited. I really like that play from Sremia up top when he forced the engagement onto the Lucy. He literally spacebars past Ivar. He's like, I don't care about you. You're not important to me. He goes right to Mini, applies that static, gets that wall and cap, and drops the hammer, and really turns the tide of that round. And then the Esmo ultimate, like you pointed out right afterwards, hitting Ivar, just kind of steamrolled from that point.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was wondering. That was straight up the question I asked you when the series started. Like, how do you approach these fights? Because in my head, you're the offensive one. Do you just all in the weakness of the Lucy, or do you concern that Taya? And in that case, trading into the Lucy, at least Mini in that circumstance, without that energy, was going to be profitable. We'll see if it is here again for eUnited, or if in fact they want to maybe put more interest in Ivar on that Taya. Corrupted ends up moving in there. Counter will end up landing a lot of damage there as we see threatened into the melee there. Sremia on the side of eUnited, orb up. Oh my silence! They still end up getting it, but that was very close to redeeming that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really nice play there. That big silence onto Naraga, or from Naraga, almost set them up to get the orb, but still Game On gonna secure it.
Counter pulls two back. Excafu trying to get the follow-up there with his M2.
This could be bad.
After the shackle, yeah, forced the tornado onto Ivar, and now he has no way out. Sremia trying to capitalize with his ultimate, but he by no means has got easy pickings there. As he's falling so low, he has to spacebar away.
Yeah, I think Sremia ended up eating that damage, too, from the ultimate of Corrupted. Now things are looking so good. The Esmo ultimate up top does land onto the Taya. She has to tornado as well. No energy to Zephyr. She has to play so far back. That healing charge misses, and Mini has no more. This is so scary for the Taya, and Ivar's still trying to go in an M1.
Ivar's getting healed up, but the silence hitting onto Corrupted. Now Orb's going to go up. Goo goes down, and eUnited get it. Silence with that M2 pulling back. Excafu setting up that, not able to hit the shackle there with the E. Sremia moves up.
Yeah, a beautiful clarity potion hits onto Sremia immediately after he lands and has that shield too. He does have that ultimate, however. We'll see if he's able to find a situation to use it. The counter there negates Sremia to get in-capped.
But the double ultimate comes down, and he spacebars immediately after to make sure he can get the dodge. The trade is going to be there when it comes to the cooldowns, but eUnited still very much ahead. Ivar trying to curve the bullet with that X strike around the wall. Corrupted pretty weak there in that trade against Sremia. Oh my goodness. But Game On is holding on there. So much pressure. Sremia and Corrupted are so low.
Ivar, he gets baited in. He eats that pull from Excafu, and some damage comes out, but Sremia's not doing much better as he gets incredibly low. The bubble shield is committed to keep him alive, but this could start to go in the favor of Game On.
Oh, the silence #1 from Naraga with the follow-up silence for Excafu, but they don't have the damage now. Oh my,
Another
Corrupted.
healing charge miss.
Corrupted is fine, at least for now there. After that counter, we got another orb. Xcafu drops down the ultimate to make sure that he gets the orb, and he will claim it for themselves. X-Strike ends up landing, but it's onto Naraga, who's too healthy. Now Surmia is in a bad spot, has the spacebar, and there's Goo.
Whoa, okay, is this gonna happen? This is gonna happen. Game On had no business in this round, and they're gonna take down Surmia and Xcafu off the back of a great Goo. They desperately need to find a kill here, but the iframe is available, and they're gonna finish off the Pearl in style. And how did they win that round? Ivar had no HP for like ever.
Yeah, he was sitting at like such a ridiculously low set there. I mean, for me, how I kind of look at it, if I was to gauge what was the setback there, is that if I have a Taya, when I look at the effective HP at Taya, where I can be a threat because I'm a ranged character, it's going to be significantly lower than Surmia.
Yep.
So if I take a trade, 2 characters at 10% to 10%, I will take your melee at 10 and my range at 10 100% of the time. And I feel like that was part of the reason they were able to kind of see that trade. Like Naraga being beefy, that's not going to do anything for a squad unless somehow he can hit silence on silence on silence. And don't get me wrong, I do think Naraga is skilled enough to make that happen, but I feel like Game On would be, you know, controlled enough to be like, not today.
It's simply harder to do.
Yeah.
It requires much more. But yeah, really incredible play from Game On to take that round, and they're starting off this round very well too. But Mini, he eats a Poland with no barrier. He's gonna get his true HP chunked pretty hard here.
Control on the orb, gonna go to eUnited, even though a lot was burnt there on the side of Game On to get it back. M2's gonna land from Xcafu, forcing out Corrupted, another iframe. His ultimate used, but it was completely dodged there. Game On very much kind of falling behind in this round, and now a lot of pressure there onto Mini. He ends up getting the panic. Now the ultimate, both iframes used to dodge. Surmia.
Oh my god, the shields.
Holy, that is 60% of his max HP.
Yeah, that was insane.
But when it's all said and done, eUnited here still in control for now. E there from Taya, maybe pulling Xcafu in a little bit of bad position. Surmia seems to be the focus for now. He'll kind of pop out there with that space bar, even get the mount up. Silence 1 goes down the root there. M2, ultimate actually thrown out from Xcafu. I don't know if that was necessarily intended there as the orb getting pushed the other direction.
Yeah, a symphony of missed ultimates there as nobody gets any value out of there. As Taya gets hers burnt to pieces, as does Corrupted. Things not looking too good though for eUnited as Surmia is very low, definitely within burst range. We'll see if they're able to find the kill, and on the other side of the fight, the Goo is dropped. All the pressure being applied to eUnited now, and they simply can't handle it.
They cannot handle it. End up losing the first member there with Surmia. Spacebar number 1 and 2 already dropped from Xcafu, but at this point, Naraga is the only man with any HP that is really relevant, and that is very similar to what we saw in the last round. First person to end up going down. It was in fact Surmia, very, very, very low compared to the rest of the squad. Naraga sitting at maximum HP with Esmo somewhere in between there. The kill focus and priority seems to remain the same here on the side of Game On, and it's working out.
Yeah, Corrupted looks way better on this Freya, might I add.
That's a really good point you bring up there too.
His Freya is doing much better against the backline of eUnited than his Bako did. A lot of his counters are being procced, and he's finding a large amount of value out of his shield, sitting at 350 protection. Pretty insane.
Yeah, and with the trend that we saw out of the last 2 rounds, I mean, call me crazy here if this is a terrible idea, but I immediately go, if I'm Naraga and I look at how those rounds go and I'm that beefy at the end of the round, I go, somewhere in the mid-game, I need to be aggressive a little bit more with the silence 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
Because somehow I got to make up for that damage onto my team here in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, there's definitely some value to what you're saying there. It's going to be onto Naraga to play a little bit more aggressive and find some more damage, help his allies out a little bit. But this round, they don't need it. As Surmia trains this Lucy, but an in-cap finally comes out to slow down the Freya.
Surmia still kind of left alone there for a moment. The Petrify plus the Zephyr, or Q, excuse me. Look at that in-cap against the wall coming out from Corrupted. Orb is up. Gonna go over to eUnited. Game On here, retreating back all the way back to their spawn. Surmia's is still very low. See, that is the most impactful thing that I want to point out here. Surmia is below 50%, and that is, it feels like more often than not, when he gets down to this threshold, that's when Game On really pulls ahead in these rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. He committed a little bit too hard as his allies went in to get the orb. This next orb spawning, and it's going to be secured with the Corrupted kill. Nerd! Get out of here. And Corrupted is just ruined by that Esmo ultimate, as is the orb. And eUnited, they steal this one out of nowhere.
That was just juicy there. Esmo ultimate gaining the value, no iframe for Corrupted. Mini uses that barrier, ends up getting that tornado iframe. But at this point, it is just holding on to an inevitable result here. eUnited tied up 3-3 after that play.
Dude, I was sitting there looking at Surmia's health bar like, he's a little bit lower than the enemy Freya. Maybe he could be burst down and Game On will take the round that way. And then Xcafu just drops that ult. He's like, nah, B, this is our round. He drops that ult, he gets the orb, finds the huge kill onto Ivar, and absolutely just pops off. A great F press.
A great F press there. Very, very influential, especially with that Battlerite pickup. The gravity that you know, ultimate kind of holds and the weight of it pulling you towards the center. Extremely impactful there. We're tied up, though. Game On still has what it takes to be able to take this series against eUnited. But at this point, nobody can really kind of make a mistake as it is getting tense. Sormia move up again. Ivar taking a pretty bad trade, falling pretty low there. Sormia trying to threaten Mini. Counter hit it on the side of Corrupted. Man, Corrupted on that Freya, as you said before, far different than the tail that we saw out of the Baka.
Oh yeah, he's looking very good, especially out of a little bit of an absence of the scene. He's still looking so strong. Sormia eating that Deadly Inject and not hitting anything with the ultimate. This is not a great start for eUnited.
A lot of cooldowns there, Bird for Corrupted now.
Okay.
Gonna end up using the ultimate as well. Dodge there for Naraga. Nice bubble to push him back.
Yeah, nice bubble. I was gonna point it out, but you noticed it. Very nice.
Counter. Ends up getting hit there.
Okay. Oh boy, and that's the power of eUnited. That silence from the Pearl coming out to enable the Esmo ultimate to hit, and now they're back in this one. The HP pool is still slightly in favor of Game On, but they're by no means out of this. A double silence again. This is what you said Naraga needed to do. He's doing it, and eUnited's looking so much better.
They're hitting that mid-game kind of silence game there for Naraga, but it's not over yet. As Sormia is still extremely low. Throws down the ultimate. The pressure going to be there onto Corrupted. Ivar ends up popping his ultimate as well. Sormia has to get the kite out of there. Now Xkafu seems to be the focus. Spacebar 1 and 2 going to be dropped. X-Stripe not getting anything for Game On quite yet, but without a doubt, eUnited far ahead in HP, except for that of Sormia.
Yeah, man, beautiful Petrify from Mini right after Sormia's ultimate to slow the roll of eUnited, really keeping them in this round. And now the ultimate is going to land onto Naraga. He's getting so low here, he dives, so the in-cap's not going to come out. The barrier's committed to Corrupted, and now he's trying to go on Sormia. They're trying to find the kill, but the shields are huge. The X-Strike burns through some of it, as does the Teo ultimate, but he's finally going to be able to make it out.
Ty trying to track it down there on that board, moving very aggressively through the kind of rankings of eUnited, but not going to get it. We see the M2 drop there by Xkafu. Orb control now going over to Game On here. 3-2 in their name, but Q coming out from Freya, pulling 2 back. Sormia still low, hits the in cap. M2 gonna pull Ivar back. Is it force the iframe? It does. Tornado down. Now Sormia looking to move up, try and capitalize here, but he's so low. The ultimate goes down in the goo response. He can't make it out of here, can he?
No way, Jose. The ultimate gonna be dropped from Xkafu, and he's not gonna be able to find any kills with it. But, oh, Naraga, he needs to find this kill. Corrupted's counter's not hit. He's probably dead as he is. This orb is so important. eUnited actually takes it. They're in this.
They're still in this here, but it's gonna be very, very tense. The haste thrown down. Silence available for Naraga. Anytime you see that staff kind of coloring very brightly. Silence 1 going to be thrown down. The damage there. Do we see the M2 from Xkafu? He's falling low. He ate the trade there with a full M1 coming out from Taya. Ultimate there. Space 1 used. Naraga falling low, but Xkafu first to drop. And Game On look like they have what it takes here to take a lead and set us at match point.
Dude, that damage from Ivar, he was just M1ing away at Xkafu. Xkafu couldn't handle it. It's insane the amount of damage a Taya Boomerang can do. You got to remember, when she's hasted, it does 15 on that first hit, and that return, that's going to do 12. You eat so much damage so quickly from just a single Boomerang, and we saw 2 hits back-to-back just like ruin Xkafu's day.
It was like at perfect max range, so it was almost an instant proc on both of those damage dealers. And set Xkafu down to that 1 HP in that situation. Great job here from Game On. But it is not over yet. Still, again, there's 1 round away from securing it for themselves. They got the mix-up with Corrupted, moving away from that Bako over to the Freya, and it's looked good so far. Can they close it out? Yeah,
really good start here. They got some good damage onto Mini and forced him to barrier himself. That means it's not available for Corrupted, and the shields are finally going to get burnt through. Unfortunately, though, the Chaos Grip from Xkafu misses. Oh, a sick counter.
Huge counter, getting a 3-man pull-in with a 2-man follow-up. Silence coming out from Naraga. eUnited definitely gaining the momentum, but Game On trying to fight back as they do end up getting that orb. Ivar going to get pulled in with that M2 after an X-Strike goes down. A lot of threat there onto Ivar, but he is just fine so far.
Ooh, Naraga really stepping up and dealing quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, he misses his last 2 silences and has to space back. But Sormia, he's having none of that. He wants in, and he goes in.
Orb up. They're going to redeem back. Ultimates drop just to make sure they get Game On, get the second one there. Yeah, positionally, they had no right winning that. Ivar actually taking a ton of damage there. Mini's able to heal it up, though. Corrupted going to get silenced. Now he has a pull away.
Ooh, yeah, a big in-cap up top. Sormia's pressure is doing so much back here. Mini's sitting on an ultimate. They're going to look for a combo with it, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to find it. Ivar might go down here. Ivar, he's barely out of it, but the goo catches the Esmo, and a huge X-Strike. Naraga sent out of here. He's barely able to get out. Sormia might go down here. That panic flask was huge.
This guy is ridiculous. Game On here. Now find themselves not over yet, but they have a huge advantage on this round. Xkafu and Naraga here. The 50% Pearl and Esmo. Can they take us here while everybody on the side of Game On at 33%.
Yeah, HP pool's actually in the favor of eUnited right now. We'll see if they manage to take this orb. Excavou sitting on that ultimate, but he recognizes he needs to use it to chunk down his enemies. Unfortunately, though, that just means Game On gets the orb for free, and I'm not sure that's the outcome you wanted.
Excavou, M2 goes down, barrier used, ends up landing onto Mini. Excavou taking the pressure there from Corrupted. Both the spacebar is going to go down with that haste. Mid up here in 4 seconds. eUnited needs to find a way to gain that control. Naraga has that silence. Silence number 1 with that M2 goes down. Orb going over to Game On. They claim it for themselves.
Full bars of energy all around, Dreadnought.
It's a lot of ultimates. Are you ready for the fireworks, ladies and gentlemen? Because here they are!
The Zephyr accidentally knocks Excavou out of the Freya ultimate. Kind of unfortunate, but I think they're in a position where they can make a couple mistakes here. Now with complete mid control, Game On going to try to secure it. Probably will. Yep, nice counter there from Corrupted. Makes sure that the Pearl can't get it with the splash.
Pressure on to Naraga now as he's got the silence. Ends up going on to Mini. The ultimate going down. I don't know if he has any cool cooldowns to get out of this. Ivar's so low. He uses the Zephyr. That's the last iframe available. Excavou kiting around their spacebar number 2 as he's now dropped very low. Goo goes out, splitting the members of eUnited. And with that, it is going to be all she wrote. Game On ends up taking this series. A very impressive play from them.
Dude, those last couple rounds were so much fun to watch, and I'm really happy to see Game On, even with the stand-in, come back and take the game against eUnited. eUnited looked incredibly good against them earlier on. I thought for sure that Game On was going to lose this game, but here they are. They're not losing their #1 seed just yet.
I am absolutely impressed there by Ivar's capabilities. While you were sitting there talking about the panic setup, I don't know if you watched it at the exact same time. Ivar was one shot in that side lane. He was completely dead. The windup comes out from Esmo on the M2, and it's like, when's he going to pop it? The guy just calls it out on the earliest time frame, drops the Zephyr aggressively into it, just goes, take that iframe, boys, I don't care, and then end up keeping himself. It was just ridiculous, the reaction time in that fight. Whew, EU Battlerite's so good, man. Let's go.
EU Battlerite's absolutely insane. Such a great awareness from Game On overall, from Mini especially, keeping his allies alive there. You talked about it, that panic flask onto Naraga to ensure that Naraga couldn't help his allies. I think that just caught him off guard. I'm pretty sure Naraga had counter available, but he was just so busy focusing on saving his allies. Just such sick play from Mini. He knew he had to win that heads up, and he won it.
Yeah, there was a lot.